The Carter retail headquarters shone in the morning light, a tall, glass building standing high in the Chicago skyline. I stood in my brother Jake's new office, our father's old office, and tried to keep my face calm as he told me I was fired. My name is Emily Carter, and at 33, I had just watched my family's company, my hard work, and my groundbreaking retail system get stolen by my own brother. It's nothing personal, Emily, Jake said, leaning back in Dad's leather chair, the same chair where our father had sat 6 months ago before his stroke, telling me how proud he was of my ideas. The board thinks we need stronger leadership in the tech department. I glanced at the clock on his desk, 9:47 a.m. In exactly 24 hours, he would present a new retail system to the board, the same system I had spent 3 years creating, a system that could change how big stores handle everything from inventory to customer data. Of course, I said calmly, I understand. Jake's smile faded just a little. He expected me to cry, argue, or make threats. He always said I was too emotional, the one who cared too much about employees and wanted to change the industry for more than just money. Security will walk you to your office, he continued, regaining his smug look. Standard procedure. We don't want any important information leaving the building. I thought about the small camera hidden in my office plant, the one that had been recording his secret meetings for the past 3 months, the late-night talks with board members, his promises of higher profits if they helped him push me out. Of course not, I agreed. The company already saved all the important files, he added. Everything about the new system is safe and under company control. Your access is blocked. He meant the official files on the company's servers, but he didn't know about the secret backup I had built, the hidden controls I had added when I first noticed files disappearing at night. Good luck with your presentation tomorrow, I said, standing up. I'm sure the board will love it. They will, he said confidently. Then, with fake sympathy, he added, I know this is tough, but you'll land on your feet. Maybe a smaller company is a better fit for you, somewhere less competitive. I picked up my bag, thinking about the encrypted drive in my apartment, the one with proof of every meeting where he planned this betrayal. You're probably right, I said. Carter Retail might be too big for someone like me. The security guard, Mike, who had known me since I was a kid, gave me an apologetic look as he walked me to my office. This isn't right, Miss Emily, he muttered. It's okay, Mike, I said as I packed my things. Everything happens for a reason. My office window overlooked the busy city streets, the same view I'd had since I started working here after college. While Mike wasn't looking, I quickly grabbed the tiny camera hidden in the plant my dad had given me when I became head of technology. Need help carrying those boxes, Miss Emily? Mike asked. No thanks, but could you do me a favor? I asked. Make sure my plant gets a good home, maybe in the security office. It needs water every 3 days. Mike nodded, understanding in his eyes. He had worked here for 30 years, long enough to see how things changed after Dad's stroke. I'll take good care of it, he promised. In the elevator, I checked my phone. 3 messages from Lisa, my lead developer. They're locking us out. Jake's team is taking over everything. What do we do? I typed back, stick to the plan. See you tonight. The lobby was busy, employees rushing past, unaware that their company was about to change forever. Janet, the receptionist who had given me candy when I visited Dad as a kid, wiped away tears as I handed in my security badge. This isn't what your father would have wanted, she whispered. I know, I said, but sometimes things have to break before they can be fixed. Outside, the crisp spring air filled my lungs. I walked to my car, placed my box in the trunk, and pulled out my second phone, the one Jake didn't know about. A text from my contact at the SEC. Documentation received. Very interesting. Meeting still at 3 p.m. Confirmed, I replied, bringing more evidence. That evening, I sat in my apartment, watching the video footage from my hidden camera. Jake's face was full of confidence as he spoke to the board members. Emily's too soft for this business. The system needs stronger leadership. Imagine the profit margins if we do it my way. I developed the main ideas, I just let him handle the technical parts. My laptop beeped with an alert from the hidden security system I built. Jake's team was trying to change the code, probably to erase my name from the project. What they didn't know was that every change they made was being recorded, creating an unchangeable log of their actions. My phone buzzed. Lisa was calling. Everyone's ready, she said. The team is in position. But Emily, are you sure about this? Once we do this, there's no turning back. I took a deep breath. I know, but Jake left us no choice. He's not just stealing my work, he's twisting it into something it was never meant to be, something that could hurt thousands of workers and millions of customers. Your dad would be proud, Lisa said softly. I looked at the photo on my wall, Dad and me at my MIT graduation, his smile full of pride. He had built Carter Retail from one small store into a national company, but he had never forgotten what mattered, the people who worked there. Tomorrow's going to be interesting, I said. Make sure the team is ready. After hanging up, I walked to my home office and opened my hidden safe. Inside were the documents I had collected for months, proof of Jake's misuse of company money, records of his secret meetings with competitors, and, most importantly, the original files showing I was the true creator of the retail system. I pulled out a letter from Dad, the one he wrote before his stroke, the one Jake didn't know about. Tomorrow, this letter would change everything. The next morning, I dressed in my best suit, the one Dad bought me when I became head of technology. I put on my mother's pearl necklace, thinking about legacy, responsibility, and the right way to run a business. My phone buzzed. Board meeting starts in 1 hour, everything is set. I smiled at my reflection. Jake thought he had won. He thought he had stolen everything from me. He had no idea that his big moment was about to turn into his downfall. I grabbed my laptop and headed out the door. Carter Retail's main conference room was packed with board members, executives, and investors. I slipped in quietly, taking a seat at the back just as Jake started his presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake said confidently, standing at the front of the room, today marks a new era for Carter Retail. What I'm about to show you will transform not just our company, but the entire retail industry. I opened my laptop and connected to the conference room's Wi-Fi. A text from Lisa appeared. We're in, just say the word. This system, Jake continued, clicking to his first slide, was carefully developed over years to improve inventory, customer tracking, and sales predictions. My fingers moved quickly across the keyboard. On the big screen, his presentation ran smoothly. He had no idea that every action he took was being recorded, every statement he made being logged. The potential for increased profits is enormous, Jake said. By collecting customer data and adjusting prices in real time, we can raise our margins by 40%. Some board members nodded in approval. They didn't realize that his plan would turn my system, built to be fair and helpful, into a tool for manipulating prices and invading customer privacy. Question, said Janet Chen, one of the newer board members. What about the privacy risks of collecting so much customer data? Jake waved her off. That's not important right now. What matters is how much we can gain. I pressed enter. A message popped up on the big screen. Original files uploaded. Development logs activated. Let me show you a live demo, Jake said, turning to the screen. He clicked his mouse, expecting to show a perfect, polished example. Instead, the screen changed. Side-by-side documents appeared, my original ethical version of the system next to Jake's modified version, revealing how he planned to use it for profit at the expense of customers and employees. Jake clicked frantically, but he had lost control. Interesting changes, I said, standing up. All eyes turned to me. Especially how you removed the safeguards that protected employees and customers, I added. Jake's face paled. This is some kind of mistake. Security. They can't help, I said calmly. The system is running exactly as I designed it, by me, the original creator. The room filled with shocked whispers. I stepped forward, my voice strong. Board members, what you just saw was a corrupted version of my system, I said. A system meant to improve retail without harming employees or customers. A system my father supported. She's lying, Jake shouted. I designed. I pressed another key. A hidden video file began playing. Jake, in late-night meetings, discussing how to remove me from the company, how to take credit for my work, how to increase profits at any cost. Jake's face turned red. That's illegal spying. Actually, said a firm voice from the doorway. It's evidence in an ongoing federal investigation. Everyone turned as Special Agent Maria Torres from the SEC entered the room, followed by 2 other agents. Jake Carter, We need to talk about some questionable financial activity related to this project. Jake froze, his hands clenched into fists. This is absurd. I'm the CEO. Howard Chin, the company's head lawyer, stood up, holding a legal document. Actually, he said, your position as CEO was temporary, until the board could review your leadership. He lifted a sealed envelope. This letter arrived from your father this morning. I smiled as I thought back to last week when I showed Dad the evidence of Jake's betrayal at the rehab center. His hand had remained steady as he signed the letter that removed Jake from his temporary position as CEO. The original system documentation, I said, handing out tablets to the board members, shows how the development took place. You'll also find proof of Jake trying to alter it for his own benefit, along with records of his financial wrongdoing. The board members read through the documents, their faces darkening. Jake glanced around the room, desperate, but there were no allies left. You don't get it, he said. The potential for profit is huge, even without exploit. People, I interrupted. The system, as it was meant to be, would increase efficiency by 30% while improving employee morale and customer loyalty. I've got 3 years of test data to back it up. That's why, Howard Chin said, the board will be holding an emergency meeting to review both the leadership of this company and the future of this project. The next hour was a blur of interviews with the SEC, discussions among the board members, and security escorting Jake out of the building. I sat in Dad's office, Jake's office, but only for a brief time, looking at the city stretched out below. Miss Emily? Jim, the security guard, stood in the doorway. Your father's here. Dad walked in slowly, leaning on his cane, but his eyes were sharp. I always knew, he said, settling into his old chair, that you were the one who truly understood this business. The way you built it, I said, not just for profit, but for people. He nodded. Jake never understood that success without ethics isn't success at all. The following weeks were intense. The board voted to reinstate Dad as CEO, with me as Chief Technology Officer, and the heir apparent. Jake faced SEC investigations and criminal charges. The system was rolled out as originally planned, earning praise from both industry experts and workers' rights groups. 1 month later, I sat in my new office, not Dad's, but one with an even better view of the city. Lisa knocked on the door. The first quarter results are in, she said, grinning. Employee satisfaction, up 42%, customer retention, improved by 35%, and profits, she paused for effect, exceeded all projections. Send them to Jake, I said, in his new office, the Federal Investigation Bureau. Lisa smirked. He never understood, I said, that doing the right thing can also be the most profitable thing. Dad stopped by later that day, moving better now after months of rehab. Your mother would be proud, he said, looking at her picture on my desk. She always said you had my head for business and her heart for people. I thought about legacy then, not just buildings and profits, but the difference we make in people's lives. Jake had wanted to build an empire. I wanted to build something that mattered. Last week, I got an invitation to speak at a retail conference. The topic, ethical innovation, the future of retail technology. I thought about Jake, sitting in a prison cell after being convicted for fraud and corporate espionage, and realized something. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't about destroying your enemies. It's about creating something so meaningful that their attempts to tear it down only make it stronger. The Anderson retail headquarters still shines in the morning light, but things are different now. Employees smile more, customers praise our service, the board talks as much about ethics as profits. And every morning when I walk through the lobby, Janet still offers me candy, just like when I was a little girl, dreaming of making Dad proud. Sometimes, the greatest victory isn't in the moment of triumph. It's in what you build after the battle. Jake tried to take my work. But he could never take my vision. Because true success isn't just about power or profit. It's about creating something that makes the world a little better than it was. That's what Dad taught me. That's what I proved. And that's the real legacy I'll carry forward. The security footage from my office plant still sits in my safe, a reminder that sometimes, the best defense against betrayal is simply letting people show their true colors. But I don't watch it anymore. I'm too busy building something better. After all, success is the best revenge, but only if you succeed the right way. And as I review plans for expanding our ethical retail system nationwide, I know the right way was worth fighting for. Because in the end, it's not about who wins or loses. It's about how you change the game.